Salvete discipuli et discipuli. So here we are. We're going remote for a little while. And so I'm going to give you guys a lesson today for Friday. I want you guys to watch this on Friday the 29th. Now, if you are in the house of Virgil and you were in class yesterday, then you have already seen the bulk of this video. I still would like for you to hear the first part of it because I have a few general announcements I'd like for everyone to know. All remote students need to watch this video, as well as the students who are in House of Ovid, because yesterday was a column day and we did not cover this material. Now, before I get into the lesson that I want to cover for today, just a couple of general housekeeping matters. First of all, next week is the remote learning week. Our schedule for Latin has us doing live classes on Tuesday and Thursday. That means I will send a Zoom link into the classroom stream, and we will be together live on those days during our normal scheduled time, which means you need to be present and you need to be ready to participate. You'll need your Latin materials with you. You'll need your notes. You'll need your book. You'll need any assignments that I've given. You'll need to be ready to be called on to participate. Attendance will be taken on those days, and you are expected to be there for those classes. Now, for Monday and Wednesday, I will be providing some video instruction as well as some assignments that you will need to do on your own. The assignments will be posted to Google Classroom along with the due dates and times. So it will look a little different than it typically does because of the remote schedule. For example, I'm going to assign something on Monday morning. My expectation is that will be complete and turned in by the end of the day by 4 p.m. If you haven't had a chance yet to watch the video and read the email from Mrs. Plasman that she sent out Thursday evening, please do so after you watch this video. There's a lot of important information in there, and contained in that video, or in that email rather, is a link which shows you how to scan documents into a PDF form and submit them to Google Classroom. That is going to be the method by which you will need to submit work to me. If you want to do extra credit, don't worry about extra credit. If you've got the paper form, I will accept the extra credit from this week and the extra credit that I'm going to post the week following. I'll accept both those weeks when we come back in person. So you don't have to worry about submitting that unless you just have a burning, insatiable desire to do so. So those are the general announcements that I wanted to make. I'm now going to conduct the lesson that I covered yesterday with the House of Virgil. And if you have any questions about this, of course, feel free to contact me through Google Classroom. Remember, Mrs. Plasman asked that if you had questions or concerns to send us a message through Google Classroom. That's how we want to track things. Okay. So in this chapter, guys, we are going to be talking about the perfect tense. We had an earlier conversation about verbs. Verbs, remember, are grouped in families called conjugations. And I have here two verbs, amo, amare, amavi, amatum, which is a first conjugation verb. I know it's a first conjugation verb because the first form ends in O, and more importantly, the second form, the infinitive, ends in are. And with very few exceptions, that A is always macron, and it is an essential macron. You've learned a couple of words where that wasn't the case, but they are very rare. And then we've also covered second conjugation verbs. Second conjugation verbs are verbs like this: video, videre, vidi, visum. The difference here is you'll notice that the first form has an EO as opposed to an O. And the second form has an ERE, long ERE. That macron is essential. That's what lets us know that this is a second conjugation verb. Later in your Latin career, you're going to learn about third conjugation verbs, and those verbs do not have a macron over that E, and that's one of the distinguishing factors. Now, up until this point, whenever we have wanted to conjugate something, we have used something that is called the present stem. So I get the present stem simply by going to the infinitive and chopping off the RE. What's left, ama, is the present stem of the verb amo, amare, amavi, amatum. For a second conjugation verb, we do the same thing. We chop off the RE. But the difference here is that the verb stem is an E for a second conjugation verb as opposed to an A for a first conjugation verb. But when we conjugate them, the process is the same. If it's present tense only, we drop and stop that first form into our chart. We put out our stem. We do the macron pattern for present tense only of long, long, short, and then we add our endings ost, must, is, und. If I want to do the imperfect or the future tense, we do not drop and stop. We do not use this first form. We go straight to the stem. The stem vowel is always macroned. We fill out all 6 spaces in our chart with the stem, and then we add our endings. Imperfect tense endings, bam, bas, bat, bamas, batis, bant. Future tense endings, bo, bis, bit, bimis, bitis, bunt. All 3 of these tenses use the present stem as the foundation for the verb. We call that the present system. The present system gives us the present tense, the imperfect tense, and the future tense. This can sometimes cause some confusion for students. It is the present system not because it's happening in the present. It's the present system because it uses the present stem. So even though the imperfect tense is occurring in the past, it uses the present stem as its base. Even though the future tense is occurring in the future, it uses its present stem as its base. That's the present system. In this chapter, we are now going to start learning about something that is called the perfect system. For the perfect system, we totally disregard the first 2 forms of the verb. The perfect system uses the third principal part of the verb. We get the perfect stem by simply going to the third part and chopping off the I. So for our first conjugation verb, the stem is going to be AMAV. And almost every single first conjugation verb is going to have this AV pattern at the end of the stem. For our second conjugation, we go to the third part, we chop off the I, and what's left is VID. Now this is where second conjugation can be slightly different from first conjugation. Whereas first conjugation has a very predictable pattern with its endings on the third and fourth principal part, second conjugation verb, we see a lot of fluctuation here. Sometimes it's a D, sometimes it's an S, sometimes it's a U, sometimes it's an X. It can be a little bit of everything. It requires you to put a little bit more time into your vocabulary acquisition. But these parts right here are what are referred to as the perfect stem. The perfect stem is what we use to create what is called the perfect system. The perfect system gives us the other the other 3 tenses in Latin. We have the perfect tense, we have the future perfect tense, and then we have my favorite, just because I think it's such a fun word to say, the pluperfect tense. We will most likely cover the future perfect and the pluperfect tense. You guys will probably cover that later in your Latin careers. We probably will not get to that this year. But I still want you to know that these 3 tenses come from the perfect stem, which is part of the perfect system. Now, let's talk about that word perfect for a second. Here, when we're talking about perfect, we're talking about something that has been perfected, that has been completed. If you remember about our study with the imperfect tense was action that occurred in the past, but was either interrupted or was still ongoing. I used to love the Patriots, and then they traded away my favorite player. I was teaching in person when the fire alarm went off love, and I had to go outside. So it's action that occurred in the past, but something has interrupted it, or it's still going on. The perfect tense is action that has been perfected. It has been completed. If you think about it, if something's perfect, I can't make it any better. I can't improve it. I can't make it any better. It's as good as it's going to get. So perfect, something that's perfect. If I'm a gymnast and I'm doing a routine and I hit a perfect 10 on my routine, I can't make it any better. It's as good as it's going to get. If I'm bowling and I'm bowling a game and I manage to get 300, that's a perfect game. I can't make that any better. It's perfect. It's complete. We can't improve on it. So we're going to use this tense, the perfect tense in Latin, to describe action that occurred in the past and has been completed. So let's talk about how to conjugate it. So we're still going to set up our chart just like we always have. Two columns of singular and plural. First person, second person, third person. Now, here's the big difference. Up till now, the three tenses you've learned used the present stem. For the perfect tense, you need the perfect stem. So you're going to take the perfect stem, A-M-A-V, and you're going to fill out the entire chart. The macrons on the A here are not essential, but I am placing them up there just to be consistent. So I take the perfect stem, I fill out the chart with the perfect stem, and then I add my endings. And our endings, they look a little familiar, but there's something a little different about them. The first form is long I. Remember, we pronounce that E. The second form is isti, short I, long I on the end. And the third form is it. You may say this is it pattern that looks vaguely familiar to our other endings. For first person plural, it's imus. Second person plural, istis. Third person plural, erunt. None of the macrons on the endings here are essential. I'm including them to help us with pronunciation. So this is how we conjugate a first conjugation verb in the perfect tense. So that's pronounced amawi, amawisti, amawit, amawimus, amawistis, amawerunt. So try saying that again. I'll say it, you say it back to me. Amawi, amawisti, I can hear you. Amawit, amawimus, amawistis, amawerunt. Now, translation. You finally get to use the ED. There's three ways that we can translate the perfect tense. We can translate that as verb. We can translate that as did verb. And we can translate that as has, have, verbed. So, whereas the imperfect tense is was, were verbing, the perfect tense, it's completed, is verbed. Did verb, has, have, verbed. So, amawimus could be translated as we loved, we did love, we have loved. Amawit can be translated as he loved, he did love, he has loved. Now, at this point, some of you may be thinking, okay, Mr. Cobb, but do you have a song for the ending? And yes, I do. However, I must give credit where credit is due. I did not come up with a song. May and Wynn Bradley, who are currently in our high school, they came up with a song and shared it with Mrs. Cremine, their Latin teacher, who shared it with me. And so they gave me an ending song for the endings, And then I added a little second verse because, it's Mr. Cobb. I got to put my own flair onto it. It is done to the tune of Sweet Caroline. And here it goes. Ist it, ba ba ba, immer's istus and erlund. Okay, I want to sing that part again, and then I'm going to put my flair onto it. Ist it, ba ba ba, immer's istus and erlund. It's in the past, ba ba ba. Verb did verb and has have verb. And if that helps you learn the endings and how to pronounce it, great. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. So that's how we conjugate perfect tense with a first conjugation verb. Let's take a look at the second conjugation verb, and we're going to see there's a lot of similarities. So we have video, videre, vidi, vis. And again, the macrons on the third and fourth part are not essential, but I'm just putting them there to aid pronunciation. Perfect tense. We disregard the first two forms. We go straight to the second form. We chop off the I, E. What's left is our perfect stem. And then we add the perfect tense endings. Ist it, ba ba ba, immer's istus and erlund. It's in the past, ba ba ba. Verb did verb and has have verb. And again, verb did verb has have verb. But remember, English is weird. I'm not going to say I see it. I'm going to say I saw, I did see, I have seen. Remember when we translate into English that English has some weird funky stuff going on with that. All right? So that's the perfect tense and the perfect system in a nutshell. I'm also going to post to Google Classroom another video that I've made that has this out in written form. So if you'd like to see that in a different way, you can. And I'm going to also repost the video on how to scan to PDFs. So be sure you watch all of those tutorials. If you have not got your Magistrala account set up, get it set up because we are going to be using that next week. Guys, have a great weekend. I look forward to seeing you on our Zoom call on Tuesday. Get lots of rest, and I'll see you then. Till then, Wale. This is the end of the video, and I'm gonna turn it off right now.